Hey, this is Duff McKagan. You're watching MULATSCHAG, the only TV you need.
Yeah, in the past years, you were studying bass again.
Yeah.
You took lessons.
I took lessons for sure. I got re-inspired on the bass somewhere in Velvet Revolver, and I saw this Donald Duck Dunn documentary. I was on Booker T and the MGs and Stax Records. I don't know if you've seen that. And just watching that rhythm section, I'm like, I want to know how he plays like that and what goes through his head. And I started taking lessons from some guys in LA. I actually got a hold of Donald Duck Dunn. Then I said, do you ever get lessons? And he goes, oh man, I couldn't show you nothing. Why don't you come out and see me play and we'll hang out. And so it kind of started from there. I really started practicing scales, something I'd never done, making up my own scales and practicing, playing with my fingers, playing tougher things with a pick. Some John Paul Jones stuff, pick stuff he does, like Immigrant Song. That's all pick. Yeah, so I'm re-inspired on bass.
How was it for you? Like, it's like going back to school again, because you've been playing bass for, let's say, a couple years.
Yeah, I've been playing a long time, and no, but it's good to be, I think, just re-inspired on. I'm lucky, fortunate that I can be re-inspired on the thing that I already do. Yeah. It's good. Really good bass players are miles beyond everybody else. Like the really good guys. Yeah. And there's a big difference between a bass player and a great bass player. There's a lot of guys who play bass that could give two shits. I met a guy somewhere like in Denmark, and he said, well, I just play bass in this band. I usually play guitar. I'm like, dude, fuck you. There ain't no just playing bass. There's either you go for it as a bass player, or like Ben Shepherd. Look at that guy who's going to be playing tonight. That guy attacks the bass. Geezer Butler.
Oh man, yeah.
These are bass players. These are guys that, yeah, he's a badass. He has bad intention when he plays this bass, And you can't just fucking play bass.
It's always, the bass player is the lesser musician in the band. It gets the most groupies. That's the old saying,
Bass player gets the most groupies. Yeah, I don't know.
Because the others have to practice.
That's good. Yeah, I think maybe that was like a early '70s, maybe, or '60s thing. But I think ever since John Paul Jones,
After being so closely identified with the LA music scene, you've kind of reclaimed your Seattle roots the past years.
With Loaded and Walking Papers. I mean, I'm a Seattle guy, and these are my buddies, and playing with the guys from Loaded that's been going on since before VR, actually. And played on a couple Mark Lanegan records in the 90s. The Seattle music scene is so great because they're always trying to invent something new. So it's always this change and like pushing and playing weird chords and it's not commercial at all. It might become commercial because it's different. Yeah. Like Nirvana wasn't a commercial rock band. They became commercial because they changed a lot of things, and Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and all of that stuff. But there's this whole, and I played in punk rock bands in Seattle before I even moved down to Hollywood for Guns N' Roses. And there's always just been this great scene there, and really kind of proud to be from there. It's a very culturally easy place to be, and
but you were quite shocked when you moved to LA, '84.
Yeah.
Because the scene was so different.
Yeah, it was culture shock for me. Yeah, sure was. I don't know what my car wouldn't make it to New York. It would make it to LA, and I certainly landed on my feet in LA. Don't get me wrong, but it was, oh my God, it was like this is before the internet and all that stuff, you know. Oh my God, long hair and you know, BC Rich guitars and double bass drum kits and sort of like there wasn't a great metal scene or hard rock scene. It wasn't great. It was kind of funny. It was kind of Spinal Tap before the movie came out.
Oh, yeah, right.
And even like being a punker kid, I recognized it all. But you know, Axl and Izzy came out from Indiana, and they had just like they weren't part of that Sunset Strip scene. They were just like these two guys who were hungry, and then meaning Slash. He was like this weird blues player kid with long hair. Amazing when he was 19 years old. And Steven Adler was kind of like that LA kid, you know, but it really worked. Like I think we were a lot different than what was going on there. And it was kind of more punk rock and more Nazareth and Motorhead and Aerosmith and whatever else.
Yeah. How did Walking Papers come together?
Well, I'll tell you, Jeff is a guy I've known, Jeff Angel, the singer, known him since 2000. He was the guy when Slash and I and Matt began playing together before we got the name Velvet Revolver. So in 2003, Jeff Angel's the first guy. I said, that's our singer. That's our guy. He's just so bad. You know, he's a bad man. And it's real. Like, I know his background and where he came from and what he's overcome. And he's a good guy. But I've known him since then. I've wanted to do something with him since then. We were friends. We both have 2 daughters. And so we're friends outside of music. Barrett Martin, I jammed with in the 90s when he was still Screaming Trees. Right, and he was in Mad Season with, it's a small world up there. It's Mark Lanegan, Mike McCready, who I grew up with.
Oh yeah, he's on the record too, right?
Mad Season, oh, he's on our record, yeah. It's a very small scene, like we're all friends, and so Barrett and Jeff were 2 guys I wanted to play with. They started this thing and they called me and they said, hey, we started recording some stuff, can you come play bass on it? Like, oh. And I went down and listened to it, and the first song was like, A Secret Safe With Me or something, like this gnarly, badass riff with a great vocal. Jeff is, I think, definitely top 5 vocal writer, lyric writer on the planet.
Wow.
Yeah. If not top 3. I mean, you read his lyrics and how he sings them, and he turns some really fucked up shit into like this beautiful poetry. Kind of Bob Dylan-ish, and Tom Waits-ish, but
it's a very grown-up record, put it that way.
I guess it is. I mean, it feels right. The records, you know, us live is a lot harder than that, but it is a grown-up record, and I enjoy it. Like hipster kids like it, and then we'll open for Aerosmith or Whitesnake over here in Europe, that old blues crowd, and they like us. You know, so
that's good.
We're still trying to gain an audience over here, and it's slowly happening. We sold out a show last night in Hungary.
Oh, really?
Our own show, yeah. So it's cool. That guy's angry.
Who's that?
I'm not sure if it's angry.
Oh, Hatebreed?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually,
that's Hatebreed,
he's actually not an angry guy.
That's Hatebreed.
Yeah, he's not an angry guy. He's actually...
He used to be.
Yeah, right.
He was destroying hotel rooms and shit. But he doesn't do that anymore.
Well, you learn you gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. One more thing. What do you remember from that certain flight, April 1st, 94?
With Kurt.
Yeah.
I was pretty bucked up. I mean, I wrote about it in my book. It was like 87 words.
Yeah.
You know, we were both bucked up. It wouldn't have been a big deal. It was something like, even at that time, we were just 2 fucked up guys, but we were both in big bands, and we landed at the airport. We were kind of talked about. I mean, my pancreas blew up 4 weeks later. He died 2 days later. So that's where we were both at in our life, like at the end of our ropes. But that's it. I didn't have a sense that he was going to die in 2 days. But again, a lot of my friends and peers were dying around then, or had died. And I was getting numb to it, getting used to it. And even when I got a call that he died, I didn't fall out of my chair.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking...
Something to expect.
It just happened, and I was too fucked up to really take it in. It's like, oh, another one fell, you know.